I want to call this meeting to order. Please rise for the flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is this on?
You have to turn it on. Press, look on the top.
I wasn't going because there's not many.
Look on the top. Turn it around. Look on the top.
Testing.
And you press that thing at the top. Hold green.
All right, just got to hold.
And you gotta turn green.
Testing.
All right, roll call, please.
Are we good?
Is that on?
Mayor Kapadas.
Here.
Mrs. Passio. Oh, she's. Mr. Ranieri.
Here.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Here.
Thank you.
Mrs. Kelly. Here. Mr. Sapiro.
Here.
Mr. Long. Mr. Basor.
Here.
And Ms. Strelli. Here.
Okay, public notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act is begun by the clerk in the following manner. 1, posted on the bulletin board of the Borough Clerk's office on January 5th, 2023. And 2, emailed to the retrospect and courier post on January 5th, 2023. First thing we have this evening is the proclamation, Read Across America, for March 2nd, 2023. I will ask the clerk to read it because this may be the last time she gets to read it. But who knows?
Whereas the citizens of the Borough of Runnymede stand firmly committed to promoting reading as the catalyst for our students' future academic success, their preparation for America's jobs of the future, and their ability to compete in a global economy. And whereas the Borough of Runnymede has provided significant leadership in the area of community involvement in the education of our youth, grounded in the principle that educational investment is key to the community's well-being and long-term quality of life. And whereas the NEA's Read Across America, a national celebration of reading, will be conducted on March 2nd, 2023, the 119th birthday of Theodore Seuss Geisel, better known as Dr. Seuss. And whereas Read Across America, New Jersey, is being conducted statewide by the New Jersey Education Association, the New Jersey State League of Municipalities, the New Jersey Library Association, and their local affiliates across the state. Now therefore be it resolved that Mayor and Council of the Borough of Runnymede calls on the citizens of Runnymede to assure that every child is in a safe place reading together with a caring adult on March 2nd, 2023. And be it further resolved that this body enthusiastically endorses NEA's Read Across America and Read Across America, New Jersey, and recommits our community to engage in programs and activities to make America's children the best readers in the world. The hottest mayor.
Very nice.
Nice proclamation.
My favorite proclamation.
Yes, absolutely
Very nice.
wonderful. So important. People don't read anymore.
Well, we got plenty to read. All right.
Audiobooks.
First thing we have this evening is a public hearing, ordinance 23-01 is an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. For those of you in the audience, what we're doing here is the state in their wisdom said that they thought if they controlled how much we spent, that would not make us raise taxes, so that's the appropriation side. It doesn't really work. But you have to pass this ordinance to exceed it, so that, say, for example, our landfill costs are higher. This allows us to go above the cap. And it also allows us, if we have a year where we didn't spend a lot of money, which is our situation probably coming up this year, we didn't spend as much money last year, we can now spend more this year to kind of make up for what we didn't spend last year. So, this portion of the meeting is open to the public. Anyone wishing to speak, please come to the microphone, state your name and address. Seeing no one, would someone like to make a motion to close the public portion?
I'll make a motion to close the public portion.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Mr. Ranieri. All in favor?
Aye.
The public portion is closed. Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt on second and final reading and advertise according to law.
Okay, motion by Mr. Lobenstein. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Sapiro. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mr. Sapiro.
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
4 ayes, 2 absent.
All right, that ordinance is adopted. We have Resolution 2333 is a resolution authorizing the application for a program year 2023 community block grant. And this is for the reconstruction of 2nd, 4th, 5th, and 6th Avenues. Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Ranieri, second by Mr. Lobenstein. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mr. Shapiro?
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
4 ayes, 2 absent.
All right, that resolution is adopted. New business for this evening, policy manual handbook. The attorney's not here tonight, but I can speak for Ms. Shelley Mastraley for just a little bit. We're in the process of clarifying some things that were handed us from our insurance company. I believe we're almost there. We're going to make
I
sure.
believe it's every 2 years they update.
Well, but we have to make sure it works for the Borough of Runnymede, and there were some things that we have to make sure fit. And so,
I had some issues
There were a
about
couple issues.
social media
yep,
and other issues that came up over the past couple of years.
I don't believe, so the only thing I thought we could possibly do at the next meeting is pass a resolution authorizing council to adopt the handbook once it goes through the final legal,
Is Dan looking
legal
at
review.
it? Is Dan looking
Actually,
at
we've
it?
been using Lou Rosner for the handbook,
Oh,
our
okay,
labor council.
okay.
The lawyer's not here to tell me if that's a kosher to do that, okay to do that, because I don't want to wait another month for us to get the handbook back out to everyone. Now, one of the things we're going to do with the handbook and the policy manual is it will be available to all borough employees. And they will have to agree that they received it.
Yeah.
They don't have to agree with it, they don't have to read it, they don't have to do anything, they just have to acknowledge that they received it, because we have an obligation.
And how are we sending it?
I think we can send it both, I would like to try to send it electronically. Shelley, you have any opinion on that?
It's 150 pages?
I'd rather send it to employees electronically, but they can have it, if they want a copy, they can always have a copy.
How?
We can print it out for
They
them.
can print it.
We can
Who
print it.
who would print it for them?
We would print it for them.
They can print it.
They can, but we've
They
done
can print
it,
it.
we've done it for our employees before, it's not a big deal.
It's 150 pages, I'm not printing it out.
Send it
And
to-
you know,
It's
everyone
not
here,
printed, you know,
you have to understand, we are employees.
The handbook's
We
not-
get a handbook and we have to read it.
Yeah,
There's also training involved in some of those issues. And I've never been trained on social
yeah,
media.
well, no, we took that,
No,
Yeah,
no,
we did.
social
For the mail-
media.
Not social media, that's,
They took
That's
that.
That was a training in emails.
Well, the point is, we gotta get it done, we gotta get it out to the employees.
But I want to see the training in that too.
You'll have an opportunity before we pass it. The only thing I would say is, we can always amend it again. I'd like to maybe put a resolution on at least adopting it per final legal review.
Stan coming to the meeting?
He will be at the next meeting, tonight is Moustakas. But he's at court right now, his associate.
Oh, somebody is coming.
Yeah.
We can ask him.
Yeah, we wait for him to get here.
All right.
Proclamation for Women's History Month, we'll do that next month. Shared services with our CPWM, that is now official, Mr. Wozon. Changing of the payroll day. This is just a discussion item. And the reason is we're going to a new payroll company and it allows each department an extra day to get their information in. So right now, employees get paid midnight on Thursday night. They'll get paid midnight on Wednesday night. They'll get it midnight on Thursday night. Am I saying it right?
One day later.
It's just 24 hours later. But they'll be able to do more things online, more things on their cell phone. It should make a huge difference for every department.
And when will that take effect?
Shelley?
The first pay in April. April?
First pay in April. All right. Extension of DMHAS grant funding. Which one is that?
This is the Youth Leadership Grant. It's a spin-off of Municipal Alliance.
Okay. Do we need a resolution for next month?
Yeah.
There should be a resolution. Right now, we're extending the current grant period that we're in.
All right. We have a thank you note from an employee. We'll read that at the next meeting. And an appointment of the chicken board. So the chicken board, Ms. Kelly, you're the chair. The chicken board, the residents in town that showed the most interest, they're going to make up the chicken board for now. And their obligation is to review the application, review the site, and also to, right here, sir, and also to approve their application, and then it'll come to us. Sorry. That's okay. That's easy. Dan did say you're running late. We did have one question for you. I hate to get you to sit down and
That's just without the.
This is an associate of Mr. Long's.
Oh,
Mr.
I
Mustard.
think I got one.
No relation, but close. I mean, they're related somehow, I'm sure. Great. One question.
Sure.
We are updating our policy manual and handbook,
Okay.
but I didn't want us to wait another month for council to approve it. What I thought was council could pass a resolution at the council meeting authorizing the adoption pending final legal review. Is usually acceptable? We do that with contracts. Sometimes that should be fine, right? So once the legal part signs off. So I think we should put it on for next month. So this way it'll be done before the,
I'll look there right away.
okay. It'll be done before the new payroll. Other than that, I'm ready to go around the room. You want to start off finance?
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. We had our Finance Committee meeting today, and, well, there's, just like all the increases in prices we're seeing personally, the borough's encountering them as well, landfill, recycling fees, trash collection, and, usually it's a few bucks, but we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars of an increase that we're going to have to cover. But we're getting creative, and we're figuring out different ways to make our tax dollars go further, and we're going to have a few more meetings. But the important things are we have, our budget is due March 31st. We have to introduce our 2023 budget, and we'll do that. We're just trying to take advantage of all the ways to save money before we go and just pass it on to the taxpayers. And we've had a pretty good record. This year's going to be a little tougher, but we're going to dot our I's and cross our T's and do the best we can to keep our taxes low. We will be filing our annual financial statement, which we need to do before our budget is introduced. That's going to be filed, we've got till March 3rd, and the budget is due to be introduced by the end of March. And we're on target to get it done. We're just going to do the best we can to keep our taxes as low as possible. And the rest is progress.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
I'll rely on my report at council.
Okay, thank you. Richie, do you have anything?
Basketball's winding down for RYA. They had the travel basketball team, 48 grades in the playoff.
Nice.
They had a pretty good year. Their 4th, 5th grades are doing okay. But you know, these are the young team. Softball registration is going to go slow, but usually softball picks up the last week or so. Baseball's having a big turnout for baseball.
But do they want to continue having the gym open? Do we know that gym wants to be open?
They're having a discussion, and they're talking about it. That's something they want to do, but they don't know exactly if it's just for travel
Certain nights.
seasons or every night. It's kind of hard to leave the gyms open or schedule just for travel to when you got a bunch of kids who maybe have to use it. So they got to come up with a better planning on how to address those issues.
Well, let's agree, if everyone agrees, that close the gym after the season's over, until we get a tighter schedule. This way we can coordinate with Public Works and our recreation.
I don't mind the idea if it's there, but they got to come up with a better plan.
Yeah, like if it's the summer league like they did that period of
The summer
time.
league is coming.
Yeah,
What they're
but
talking
give us the
about-
days, give us the dates.
Right.
You know.
We're talking about all year round, that's just.
It is a lot to just have it open all the time. But maybe we can figure it out. I don't know.
I'll talk to, Bob, whatever it is.
Okay. Anything else?
Fields will be worked on by Public Works, so everything looking good so far.
All right, good. Thank you. Mr. Labastine?
Well, Mr. Woolsey,
Okay.
Harry, you can talk, what are you going to talk about?
All right, Harry, you want to keep going?
With the fields going recreation, senior field's been worked on, 3 weeks out for sod. That's through 2 vendors, working on a 3rd one, see if we can tighten that up. All the mounds, we did shoot the pitcher's mound and home plate, and it's dead on 10 inches.
Yeah?
Transit don't lie, so it's there.
Did you use the sod cutter from high school?
Yes,
Was it nice?
yes.
Yeah, I wish you would call me.
Well, we still got a lot of work to do, we'll be using it. We're cutting out the base baselines, they're 4.5.
I used to shovel it last
Hold
time.
up,
That
you
was
wanna
terrible.
see it, or you wanna use
I want
it?
to use it. I want to use it.
So with that, the next couple of weeks, we'll start in next week, we're going to be fertilizing all the properties on the fields. Once we get break from the weather, of course, they'll be turned on and so forth. We did have an issue last year, they were at the RY building, they installed a water meter on their own, turned the water on, and then we had to freeze, and we had problems in the building, so we've got to make sure that we stay out, because we don't have heat in the lower part. Vanilla Park, we cleaned back a lot of the brush along the areas. We still have the walking path along the waterfront, but the roadway going back around the circle, that's all been cleaned up and pushed back.
Do you know if the school was having their cross-country running down there?
I'm not sure if they are or not.
No? Do you know if they did
I
cross-country?
haven't heard anything.
That was pretty fun.
That was pre-pandemic, you never...
Volts, you mean?
Volts was going to bring
Yeah,
it
that
out.
was pre-pandemic. Once the pandemic happened, I was shut it down.
Okay.
And the loan never came out.
Okay, well, we'll find out, because that path was supposed to be part of that.
Yeah.
So, Dan's for today.
Other than that, just to report, we did meet the other week on the Scout Building. We have a full plan to move forward with that, keep continuing the Scout Building and so forth. Working on contractors. Pickleball, met with 2 contractors for relocating the temporary one at the basketball court for a fence, and then we're working with another company for the painting of it, and supposedly we're waiting for information back from the company, but they say there is grants for painting the pickleball court. So it's big out there right now, so we're trying to get that information, but we've been working on that since Thursday of last week.
3 or 4 courts there.
It'd be 3 courts. There is a
This is where there is no...
hockey, correct, where the hockey.
So it would leave the 3 basketball.
Right.
And it would-
It would leave all the basketball and put it with the safety zone. And then with that, after that, then we have an area for them to have their pickleball, and then we can go in, hopefully,
Fix
with
up
another
the-
grant and so forth like that, to fix up the existing pickleball and tennis court. So the idea there is just to do the base, leave the fencing, concrete over top of it, coat it, and be done with it. But it's grant money and funding for it, and it could be 2 years after that, so.
Mark would have known that the tennis court, remember when we just coded it? You know, what's that? No, who would have known pickleball would have been so big? When we just coded the tennis courts, you know, did you have a question?
Yeah, what is this gonna cost?
We don't know yet.
We're working on pricing right now. We're meeting with the vendors, getting the quotes back, starting to
Like
get the
an
numbers.
approximation, nothing?
Who's
How
gonna
things
work,
are, don't wait until we get something right.
Harry, who's gonna work on the grants?
Wait to get the grants in to see how and who have to be involved in it.
Okay.
Okay, so until we get it.
This is coming from the vendors.
This is coming from the vendor and so forth. So until we get that, and see what it is and how elaborate the grants are, we'll have to see how many hands have to be involved in it. Okay.
And how long have you had this pickleball courts up?
3 years?
3 years, so is it some,
Is it more than 3?
Yeah,
Started pre-painting, yeah,
at
pandemic,
least
so.
4 or 5.
so is that all they last?
Well, our base was bad, that's what Mark and I were just talking about. When we recoded it back in '09, '10, we only thought it was for the kids to play tennis when the high school was using it and things like that. He wanted to put a whole new base in. We didn't do it because there wasn't enough use. And that's why I said, who would have known that pickleball would be the new sport? It's crazy.
And, hey, Harry, the other day on the email, and we went back and forth about the water lines, you know, we said on the committee, we don't want to do it right now, but we certainly don't want to do it in the spring, because the field will be torn up if we put a water line in.
Well, there's other issues with the water line, because the sprinkler's set up with a relay for when the sprinkler calls for the time to come on, it turns the relay on to hit the pumps for the pump on the well. If we're gonna put a water line in, we gotta change the whole mechanical of the pump system there, put a tank in, pressure tank and everything else.
Couldn't you bring a water line from the building?
That is city water from the building.
I thought it was only to hose down
Yeah.
That's a long run, if you tear out the main.
Yeah.
Well, can't you, I mean, don't they use the drag thing that just cuts a slice and pulls the plastic? Like the way the sprinkler guy does it? That's the only thing I thought of when somebody brought it up.
Cost of it, when we're tightening belt and everything else and getting it done. I know it's a simple thing to order.
I'm just,
But
you
I'm
know,
just saying with
you were
that.
thinking of trenching it, is that what you were thinking?
Yeah, we only have the trench, we don't have the pool and stuff like that. So
Well, it was like I said, it was something that was brought up, once again, we can answer it and move forward.
For the use of 50 gallons.
Remote people.
I know.
Yeah, the remote people gotta go.
We've done without all these years, I mean,
Well, I understand the logic, when it's hot and dry, you're gonna turn it and stuff. I'm only talking about, whatever. Okay, anything else?
I'm good.
Okay. Patty, you're here, do you want to talk, because we did skip you?
Yeah, I'd like to talk because at
Okay.
7:30 I have to go get my granddaughter. Okay, so, and then I'll be back, the meeting's still going on. I don't know if anybody's talked about the Hirsch Lake.
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring it up, okay? Of course, you know how I objected to it last year when he presented himself, and you thought that it was a positive thing. Well, it was brought to my attention that, give me a minute here, get my composure here, okay? So I'd just like you to kind of look at these pictures. And you can pass them around. Do I have any other pictures? Okay, you just pass them around.
I saw them.
Should I scroll?
Okay, so it was brought to my attention that there was dumping down there. So I decided to take a walk down there. And what I saw was very disturbing. It seems like they built a city, for Jawas or whatever, I don't know. Star Wars, they come down there and film something. But they built this, you can pass these around, however you can see them.
yeah.
Okay, you have them. So, I remember Mike Root when he worked really hard because it used to be as a dumping ground, and he cleared it all up and it became something really nice. And now it's a mess. It's loaded with cement. They built, some are 4-foot huts. They have paving. They have bridges that are broken. They have metal down there. They have wood with nails sticking up. They have 2 piles, as you can see, and it's getting further and further and further out there in the woods. It's not confined anymore. As you can see, a sign that says, basically, to me, this sign says, obstacles are for RC vehicles only. Please do not stand or climb on them. So they basically are claiming this for themselves, it seems to me. This sign was stolen. Bill?
Yeah.
Did
Yes.
you not get it? Did
You
you
wanna
not
see
get a report or a
Yes.
call from Matt saying that this sign was stolen and that our police officers go out there to try and track it down?
Yes.
This is an illegal sign. It shouldn't even be there. They don't have a permit to even put a sign out there. But Matt claimed it's stolen, and our police on our time went out there trying to search and find it, and they did. So they put it back in there again. This is disturbing to me because it's natural habitat. This cement is permanent. It's there. Don't ask me how we're going to get it out of there. Not only that, come on, there's contaminants. There's rotten wood. There's painted cement. There's, and I'm sure there's contaminants. Cement has toxins in it. So when it rains, it washes right down into our waterway. He was told by our solicitor, carry in, carry out. What you go in with, you take back out with you. He has built a permanent housing for his RC radio-controlled operating vehicles. I told everyone here, did anybody go down to check it out? If you see it, it's amazing. It's disgusting to me. He's wrapped cement around trees, which I know is suffocating the trees and they're probably dying. Eleanor, you took a tree course, you know you can't apply cement. He has bridges that are broken down. What about liability? You know, our engineer, we couldn't build, Reimagine Runnymede couldn't put bridges down there because of the liability. We had to have the DEP come down. So I want to know how you all feel about this. Now, they want to go down, they were there Sunday, probably building again, and then I went again. I actually took Billy down there so he could go down into the ravine. It's extremely dangerous. It's very dangerous. You know, another thing that I think about, I know you probably don't, but I think about it, they're huts. Elders talked about homeless people being down there. You can actually fit a body in those huts for shelter. Not only that, come spring, it's full of wildlife who are going to seek whatever kind of shelter that they can get. And what happens when they decide to have a baby in their huts? And, you know, how are they going to treat that when they come down there, when there's babies in there, and they're going to mess up with our ecosystem? So all of this it's literally blowing my mind, because this is exactly what I was afraid that would happen. When I took the first picture and I brought it here back in September of 2022, it was one hut. It was one hut. But now he's got cemented like pavements, and I'm telling you, one's up to here on me. You know, one of the huts is up to here on me. And it's not safe. It's absolutely not safe. There's pictures, as you can see, there's nails coming out of the wood. It's not a dumping ground. It reverted back to what it used to be. And that's sad.
And they want to use it.
And they want to use
Is
it.
this directed to me?
No, I'm not directing it to anyone. Director.
They want
Public
permission
Works,
to use it
Director
all
of
these
Parks
Okay.
and Recreation.
All right, so-
I'm asking that you revoke their privileges. That's what
All
I'm
right,
asking.
so there's a motion on the table. There's a motion on the table to have, I believe what Mrs. Passio is asking is that this council has to approve the Public Works Department to remove all of the block, all of the structures down there, and turn it back into natural state. Is that the motion you'd like to make?
I would like to make a motion that somebody remove it. Why does Public Works have to remove the damage that they've done?
Well, then we'll have to take them to court, I would think, to get a judge to order them to do that. I mean, we can ask them to do it, but I think that would bring up a liability also if we were going to send somebody down there. I think, if everyone feels, I'm not going to carry the water for this issue. If it's something that you're against, then I'm okay that I'm against it too, because I thought it was something unique. I thought it was something different. But if you feel that it's got, and I agree that they do what a lot of people have done to us. They take advantage. We give them an inch,
You know what?
we give an inch and they take a mile.
She told me the same
We
thing.
are generous with everything.
We always are.
To our outsiders.
I agree.
Okay? We've been generous with the field house. We've
I
been generous
agree.
with the labyrinth. We've been generous with the pickleball. And it's all about us. It's all about running our residents. What do we get out of all of this? We can't even.
Well, the only thing I'll say to that, I will say this. I always thought that one of my goals has always been make this community desirable. Not just desirable for the people who live here, but desirable for people to visit here. So I like, when we talk about the basketball teams and the baseball teams and things like that, I like to know that, a friend of mine who's from Haddon Township comes to Runnymede to play on our sport teams. I like that people come to visit our businesses and things like that. So when I know that there's activities like the pickleball or the RC Park or our youth athletics or the diner, be that, or the mile. I mean, if the mile only had to rely on Runnymede residents, I don't think any of our businesses would survive. So I even know that our sports teams would not survive if we didn't allow kids to go between different communities. So as for the RC Park, I'll finish and then you can vote on this because I think you should. And I would like us to make some hard decisions, and it's okay with me. I have very broad shoulders. I knew you did. So the RC Park, I think they got down there and it was a few families and things like that. Have they gone a little bit above? I agree 100%. But to talk about dumping, there's a lot of dumping that went on down there. There's still piles of dumping down there. I agree that dumping is wrong, but in the old days, you used to be able to dump concrete. It was considered clean fill. Now it's not considered clean fill anymore, correct? Millions aren't even allowed anymore. Whatever, we learn and we move on. And I've learned. The question for this body, and the only question for this body is, do you allow it or you don't allow it? And after that, everything else has its process. You want to cite them? You want to block it off? We can do that. If you want our legal counsel to go after them, we can. We can do anything. But you have to start off with the 5 of you, because I don't get a vote, decide if you want it or not. You know, I go, either decision is fine with me, and if it has to be me who makes the phone call, it does not bother me. If he comes to me and says, well, you were supportive of it, it's democracy. If the majority says it's wrong, I will do what I'm supposed to do in my job.
Mayor, you were supportive of them going down there.
I was.
And using their RC remote control.
Yeah.
You were not supportive because you did not know their intent. And their intent now is gone a little bit overboard.
It seems that they're dumping,
And they're gonna continue.
their dumping you're right, by them dropping all those blocks down there, they put me in a very bad situation to be a supporter
And
of
they
it,
don't care.
you know.
They don't care. They'll keep on doing
Well,
it.
we don't know their plan. Maybe maybe they're building something that we don't, maybe they should bring.
But like Patty and everyone says, they should have called us or talked to us or
We
something
should
first.
approve their tracks.
They
What are
should
you
have said
doing?
something.
It isn't, I mean, if you go down there and see.
They are trails. They're trails
There's
for
nothing
the
that's
cars.
organized. It's not done neatly.
They actually,
It's not,
they actually do have trails, and if you read the email that he sent, he actually is proposing to have races down there.
Yes,
Where
all
groups
summer.
where groups come down and run their cars through the
summer.
stuff. Once again,
But
do you want people to come to our community or not? And if we think it's bad,
no.
we have the right.
you gotta remember,
This is abuse.
Fine.
when he talked to us, that there was one stipulation that we said, again, it's fine, but no more building. We said that last time.
Well, he
Our
wasn't supposed to dump anything. You're
Our-
100% right.
He
Our
wasn't supposed to
solicitor
build
said
any more
what-
things, he wasn't do anything else, add more to the.
I
What
agree.
you bring in
That's
that
what we said.
day,
Looks
you
like they
take
had-
out with you.
He dumped all that
stuff?
You take the sign with you.
And I-
You carry
that's the
in,
problem.
you carry out.
Well, that
They're
was-
not built, permanent fixtures, they're permanent.
Yeah,
So,
especially the huts.
You should see it. It's on the-
any other discussion before we vote?
Where are we voting on?
Aye.
I think I need more information.
Yeah, I need more information for it. I'm not
I'm not ready
gonna, I'm
for
not
it.
gonna make a
More
vote tonight.
information, tell me what, you are the director of public, you are
Patty,
elected.
you're not
Listen
gonna
to
come here and
Listen to
blindside me over this.
Listen to me.
You're not gonna come here and blindside
He's
me.
supposed-
You should have not been blindsided.
No,
You
how do
should
we know
have
that the
been
guy was down there dumping? No one knew. Where was the
But
police?
they're
Where was the
building.
police department down there?
They're
dumping?
building,
Did Public Works see them build?
they shouldn't be doing that.
Did Public Works see them?
I
build? We didn't.
I did.
When did you report it?
There's a guy right there. Yesterday, he was there.
So we found out yesterday.
No,
We found it when I was in the Scout building
Yes.
a week ago.
Yes.
And I went down there and I saw,
And you told me to
and I
go
looked
down
at it,
look.
and
I can't believe that you didn't say anything.
because I didn't see what you saw. I didn't get out of my
And
car.
I met Billy down there, so I could show him.
Billy, what do you think should happen?
I didn't grow up a remote control car guy, so to me, you just go down the dirt path, but I understand what Patty's saying. It was alarming when I went down there with all the block and the brick and all that stuff. I don't know if he was given permission to take it to this extent.
He wasn't.
No, so, you know, I agree with Patty, like I said.
But do we rescind everything?
I think you should give them an opportunity to resolve the issue. And tell
Which
them-
would be removing all the
Well,
blocks.
let them know that council president is beside yourself with the way they're handling things down there. We need to talk to them. They need to come into a council meeting and discuss what their plans
Well,
are.
I think, here's a
And how can
suggestion,
they fix it?
but here's a suggestion I might think to start off with, is that he should remove all the block that was
All
done.
everything is not.
That should be the first step. You agree to
I
that?
agree.
Because we did allow him,
Inventory
and then
somewhere else.
and he dumped recently. And you're saying he's building now.
Here it is. He's building all these huts, he's building.
Well, some of them were there last
This is
year.
tot-
I remember walking.
This is totally cemented, he is surrounded. Would you please
Can you
engineer?
send them your current ordinances?
Well, we could say him for dumping. And we're caught in a little situation here because we were sort of supportive of him, you know, doing this.
You were supportive.
But he went and he now dumped, and we told him that he couldn't dump.
We were supportive.
And I
of
actually
him.
did talk to him and said, you shouldn't have dumped. He actually called me and I said, you need to send a request to council.
When was this? How long ago?
Well, about a week ago, when I found out that they dumped. And then all of a sudden he sends a request, and I said, we gotta send it to the clerk, which is what we agreed to. That you have to fill out a form and decide what you wanna do. But his dumping, I don't believe they're a very organized group. I think it's a bunch of individuals
if they would have built a pen area, a neat structure to put the stuff into and cover it, it wouldn't be so alarming.
Well, I think, the issue is the fact that it's
In
dumped.
the process of putting a track together, you're gonna have moments where it's a little messy.
Do you guys want to go look at this before we make a
I
decision?
would think so.
You okay with
I
going to look
asked
at
you
it?
to go look at it. You know,
Can you guys go look at it within a day or
here's a
two?
bridge, okay?
I will.
This is a bridge, okay?
Okay, can you go look at it?
These are the things that they've built. Contaminants into our waterways, what do we know? Where did he get this stuff from? Bridge, okay? There's a bridge that's actually broken up, and if a kid goes over it, it's a
I
liability.
mean, tell me what to do tomorrow. If you guys can go, I think Eleanor, you want to remove everything.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I'll vote on
Patty
it right now.
wants to remove everything.
I'll vote on it right
Well, that's
now.
not enough. I see it's, what I'm counting is 2 to 3, is what I'm saying. So the 3 gentlemen, I think, want to look at it.
Let's take a vote.
If you take, you really want it to go down?
Oh, I don't care. I want that stuff out of there.
All right, there's a motion by Ms. Passio.
I make a motion that he removes all of this, and then we revoke, we gave him a privilege to go down there and use his remote controls. That's one thing, we should revoke that, because this was not what he proposed to
All right,
us.
so a
And it just
motion to
keeps
remove
moving
and
and-
revoke.
Absolutely. They'll continue to
Eleanor, do you want a
abuse.
second?
I will second.
Okay.
He will continue to abuse.
Any other discussion before we vote?
I'm gonna look at it first.
Well, you can vote however you want. Right now, there's a motion and a second. Am I doing this right?
Yes.
We haven't had a contentious meeting in a while. Roll call.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri.
No?
Mr. Lovenstein.
No,
Mr. Shapiro.
Better not abstain.
That's a good thing, I won't do that to you.
I need more information. I gotta see.
And then we can do this resolution again if it doesn't pass, right?
We can do it in 10 minutes. We've done it in the past. I don't know if you're not supposed to do it that way, but we actually talked and changed our votes.
Your department, Rich. It's your department.
Send the kids down there for parcel.
Kids don't go down there, stop.
Maybe you should call the guy.
The only reason is, I hate to vote something without having internet inside of the school, that's all.
Well, I did ask you to go look at it, Rich.
It doesn't matter if I look at it, I gotta hear his side of
What's
what he
his,
said.
what would his side
I
of the
don't know,
story be?
explain something, but you know, you want me to make judgment or cancel something completely without hearing somebody else's side?
How are you
That's
voting?
not fair also.
How are
And
you
if I
voting?
hear, no,
Eleanor, easy.
how about no?
Eleanor, you just got, that was a great way of getting a no. All right, so 3 to 2. All I say is I will call him, unless someone else wants to call him. I can give everyone his phone number right now if you all want it. You want his phone number?
I've talked to him before, he lied to me, up and down, he lied to me.
He lied to Richie?
This is a whole lie, right here. This is a whole lie. And if this is what you think our residents deserve, shame on all of you. Shame on all of you. Our taxpayers don't deserve this. Our taxpayers don't deserve to have to pay for public works to go down and remove
I
what
agree
they have
that,
done.
I agree with that. But I would say that some people like different things.
That's fine, they're outside, they're not even Runnymede residents. We can't
But
even,
it's a
they have
park.
a sign that tells us we can't use it.
Well, it says to stay off of
To
it.
stay.
Because they don't want people walking over a bridge that's designed for a little RC car.
When does it stop?
Maybe we have to be more organized with it.
We do have to.
We
Well,
don't
what do you
rescind it.
think I've been saying all along? And you just totally ignore what I said. Listen, I've been on.
I do a lot of things, Patty. And I'm sorry that I'm not the best mayor and the best at getting everything done. I do my best.
Sometimes
But
you need to listen to me.
I'm being pulled in so many different directions. And this RC thing was not something I paid attention to. I'm sorry. I didn't even think about it until we went down to the scale
You
line.
didn't pay attention to it 2 months of last year when I came and told you.
Absolutely.
No?
We told
When
him,
you agreed with him, you thought that this is positive?
Patty, can I interject something here?
yeah,
Maybe if we talk to this organization and the fellow who's involved and let him know that he has to incorporate this green thoughts, and environmental conditions, you can't concrete trees, maybe present their ideas of what they're gonna do with the track.
Didn't we do that last year?
And
He made a lot of promises.
promises, Richie.
Enhance the
He
area.
made promises to Richie.
Make it fun, enhance the area without harming the environment. It can be done, but we have to request those things. So it would, I think it makes sense to, there's always a middle ground. There's something that,
But we did that last year, John, and when our solicitor said to him, what you take in, you take out. You cannot keep it permanent.
Well, I think
He
if-
said that to him.
I think after what you've seen and how you feel, we should present it to them one more time, give them an option to tell them they gotta work with nature and not against it. They can't concrete over trees. Give them the criteria that we expect to enhance the environment, not hurt it, no trash. They're gonna have a temporary, if they're building a track and they have temporary materials, they gotta be covered or neatly organized. You can't just throw piles of stuff there.
I agree, that's what really
How do
looks
we know that
terrible.
that material isn't toxic? How do we know where it came from? How do we know it didn't come out of some place where asbestos houses was empty? We don't know that.
We can just tell them what we
These are
want.
people just started
What we
playing in
need.
the woods.
Well, we can't just throw it.
And how kids bring couches into the woods.
When you have, there's rules and regulations that you have
I
to
think
follow,
it's a little
John.
super simple, really.
So I'm gonna call him and tell him at least at bare minimum to get rid of everything that he dumped.
Yeah.
And that his privileges may be revoked because of this action. I would hope that you would allow Eleanor, that you would allow these men to go talk to this person. And if you guys want to be there, talk to this person and see if it's something if you think it's something that's good for the community. If you don't think it's good for the community, fine, you know?
How is that for the community when it's all about them?
Family fun.
It's their family fun. They don't even live in, where is it benefiting us?
People
Where's it
come to our
benefiting
community,
Ryan?
they'll stop at our stores, they'll buy gas.
Patty, I don't play soccer. I don't play basketball. But I support the soccer teams of this town. I support the basketball teams of this town. I don't play
I'm glad you do
pickleball.
because they're running me residents.
Not, Richie, can you want to testify?
Well, some are, most of them are.
Some-
Ooh, let me bring them up. I don't think there's a running person that belongs to the Hidden Valley RC Club.
I don't know.
I think that's how we ended up down there.
I went to you,
I think
Richie.
there was. And I did see
You,
it, but
Craig, Eleanor, John, I didn't reach out to you about that maybe, whether I did or not. And you knew about it.
and I knew about it, but I didn't know that you were gonna come here and try to
So
Try to what?
finish everything, say revoked everything without.
Well, that was more than me. I pushed for it. Cindy, because,
Now you push.
Well,
well, because I don't,
said,
I want
Parks
to,
and Recreation.
you know what I want?
I
want a resolution.
Right?
I like things to be resolved.
Everything
We don't-
here,
that's all.
we had an agreement in place where anything they brought in, they were supposed to bring out anything that wasn't there.
Give them an
originally has to
opportunity
be
to resolve it.
No, I think you're misconstruing also what she's saying. They started building all these paths, and I think we didn't want to expand any more paths. The paths were, some of these paths have already existed.
So maybe.
Yeah. They already built some of this stuff, correct? Over the past 3 years, some of this was built.
That they're at their cost, because they created it. And if they don't, then revoke their privilege.
Yeah, give them time to rectify it.
But Pat, the only thing I'll say about paths and stuff like that, you do know we put paths through woods all the time. Green Acres has an
I'm
asphalt
not talking
path.
about
Going
paths,
through.
they cemented over the paths.
Well, cement is the same as
Okay.
asphalt. It's basically the same thing. It's,
Are we, okay, don't we have some kind of structure in town, some kind of building code or codes? That, you
Well,
know,
if
is
it was
there
a-
way to do it?
but I don't think not for
Permits?
remote control
Permits?
cars. I
Right.
mean, there's
Not
no,
for remote
it's
control.
not in the UCC code for remote control cars.
Anything about remote control cars?
Eleanor, once
Well,
again,
geez, let's get an ordinance for remote control
guys,
cars.
if you want to make it a tie vote, I'm at the point where I'll rescind it. I have no problem, and I own my own backhoe. I'll go down there and rip all the damn stuff out of there. I got no problem doing it. You guys know me. I don't want anybody to be upset. Once again, my goal is always to make this a better community, and I don't believe that it's just about the people in this town matter, but the businesses in this town, and then, you know, you're saying my brother can't come to this town and enjoy our parks? They can be from
Saying
outside of
something.
town.
Yes, I would love them to come and enjoy it. You're not going to enjoy it over there.
My brothers, my brothers are four-wheelers and dirt bike guys.
Yeah, well,
You don't want them in this town,
you know.
you
You're
know?
not going to enjoy it over there. Well, guess what? If that's what they are, you can't get through there because you got huts about 4 foot high, 3 foot high, you know.
Did you ever talk to the guys at Reimagine Runnymede and the people working on the park, what their opinion was of the RC park?
Well, that's his only friend, Ken Lee. And he actually told Matt DeViglio, actually told me, Ken Lee told him he can do whatever he wants.
Why do you think Ken believes that?
Because Ken does whatever he wants. So,
I mean, does this, I guess what I keep getting back to is, does it benefit the community or not benefit the community?
I don't see how
If you feel
that
that it doesn't
benefits
benefit the community,
doesn't benefit our wildlife, it doesn't benefit our Runnymede Lake Park, it doesn't benefit you, me. So.
it doesn't have to benefit me.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, I'm a resident. Doesn't benefit my granddaughter if I want to take her down there, because guess what? It's scary, when they're all down there. You can't go down there. You can't take your kid for a walk down there when they're all down there,
And they want to use it all summer.
And I have a question. Their first event that they want to hold is on March 18th.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a no, and
Okay.
I will, since it's my job, I will call him, and I will tell him what he.
I have no problem to talk to him and call him, but I spent over an hour talking to him a year ago, and I got nowhere with him, and he lied to me over
So
and
the only thing we might need is a
And he
letter from
came
you.
here.
We might need a letter from you, basically giving it the legal grounds, and that he will be cited and things like that. Okay. Anything else on this issue? Did you have anything else you wanted to report? Because we can.
Rabies clinic, March 11th, 10 to noon.
Ladies are collecting.
The women's club is collecting
Donations.
donations, monetary donations, anything that you can do. And
The leach truck is going to be there, right?
Bill,
On March 11th.
What's it that
The
time?
truck will be there, 10 to 12.
Do you have a lot?
and that's about it. The Easter parade's coming up, and we'll discuss that.
All right. I'll let everybody know how I talk to this gentleman. I'll text
Yeah, please.
everybody and let everybody know.
Kathy's
All
going
right,
to talk.
we're gonna let Mr. Baseford, did you have anything?
Yeah, so then I want to report on Friday. The report had gotten a little stagnant, so I retweaked a few things. A lot of it had to do with working with DPW, so I met today with Harry. So I'll go through the report, I'll try and just hit the main items here. But under DOT 2023, last month we talked about we're going to be doing Harding Avenue as a base bid and put out Payne Avenue as the alternate bid. We've started the survey work so we can get going, so we can get out to bid, but I still have to give you a cost estimate of what we anticipate happening. Same with the 2022 CDBG project on First Avenue and Second. We're going to do First Avenue as a base bid and then do West Second as an ad alternate. There's probably not enough money to do all of Second Avenue, so that's why tonight we passed the resolution to submit another round of funding for Second, Fourth, Fifth, and Sixth Avenue on the CDBG application. Manor Court, the 2022 project, Lexa is taking care of punch list items out there. They're going to be out there tomorrow to pave. We're trying to get a crown in the road where they're supposed to have it, where Manor Court ties into Bowers. There's been some ponding issues, and it's because they lost the crown of the road. So they're going to be addressing that tomorrow. Forest Avenue, I have to coordinate with Bogey, who's the general contractor on that. He has some punch list items. We're hoping those get resolved by April, so we want to close that project out. There was just a few things on their punch list, but we need good weather. I think some of it was topsoil seed and grass growing, and obviously we can't do that in the wintertime, but we do anticipate.
How are we doing with that resident on the corner there? Is he all happy?
I have not, yeah, I think he's happy with his wall and everything. The sewer manhole, this is one of my changes. I have a current status now as opposed to an update, because it's not what anything's updated. This project's been on hold since April when we put it out for bids. We're just waiting on funding. But if that was getting buried in the previous report, so that is a current status now, that the sewer manhole project is just waiting on funding.
Is that why it's not being paved? Because this has to be done before she'll pave it?
Now, Eve Shane, I was going to ask you, the county hasn't set their agenda
They
yet.
have not set the agenda for that phase.
They haven't set in their,
That road is awful.
it's up to them.
Same with the police station roof rehab, current status is we submitted a proposal back in February of last year, and once you have funding in place, we can go out to bid for that. So I think one of the options is just to recoat the barrel roof that's over the police station. That's an option, and you just put, I guess you just
3-quote that, you don't need to go for a full replacement. But that's something that needs to be looked at if you want to move forward with that.
What's wrong with it?
Does that sound good?
Starting to
What's
leak-
wrong with it?
Starting to
Give
leak.
us another 5 years.
It's starting to, it's not terrible. If it was bad, the chief would be honest, but it's starting to.
Harry said it would give us about another 5 years for recoding.
The Public Works, the wetland survey, we did get a letter of interpretation from DEP stating what the buffers were. However, they had a typo in their letter, so we're asking that they resubmit that to us. Once we receive that, we'll be able to move forward with the DPW facility improvements, which is the salt shed and the vehicle storage area, come up with a game plan for that. And we're also looking at doing some drainage improvements at Public Works, so that when we have a flood through there, it doesn't come into Public Works.
This
This
is with the CCNUA also, correct?
Yes, so we're going to submit, once we do a study of how we're going to get this, we're going to submit a budget to CCMUA to try and get a shared service agreement with them going.
Did you hear from them about the wetlands issues at Runnymede Lake Park? Remember, we wanted to do that second bridge, and we couldn't do it because of,
We can give it's something we would have to go through a full, what we had to do through the DPW, we'd have to do the same thing of Runnymede Lake. To do that bridge, you have to do a full wetland survey and get a letter of interpretation from DEP.
Really?
Yeah.
The entire,
Yeah.
oh, jeez. And maybe we won't do that bridge.
this is why people just do stuff.
Stormwater slip lining, I met with Harry today, we talked about potentially going out to bid for a large project, like on Davis Road, First Avenue. However, we talked about Rambler Avenue, there's a stormwater that goes under the house at 832 Rambler. So Harry's going to look at just re-quoting that because the scope's pretty much defined, it's going to be slip lining from Orchard to Rambler. So Harry's going to re-quote that so we can get that.
So I did get a call from Bob about that. He must have read your report. He thought that we should see if we could kind of get that line out from underneath the guy's house. There's no way to get it out?
There's
Okay.
too much going on. So that's
All
why
right. All right, so maybe that's why it's going to be under this guy's house
Yes.
forever.
Yes. So the best thing to do is to stabilize it and get, when we slip line, that puts a brand new pipe within the pipe.
Yeah, I mean,
And you get structural integrity there.
but it's under the guy's house. There's no way to move it.
You know where he knows?
Well, he knows now.
Third Avenue drainage, I met with Harry to come up with a scope, so we're going to do a budget estimate for that, so you can get that into your budget and come up with that. Same way, Crescent Avenue, there's a sewer backup at a manhole, where we met with Harry today, we're coming up with a game plan on how to fix that, and then we'll give you a budget estimate on that. Same way with the drainage at the baseball complex, we're going to get a proposal to do a survey out there. Tax map updates, we've started working on those, so we're going to get electronic, we're going to update them and get them to the borough clerk, the tax assessor, and Camden County's been asking for them. So we're getting those revised and anticipate those by April. Flood damage prevention ordinance is something new that DEP and FEMA are requiring, and it's to change your ordinance for flood damage prevention when developers come into town. We have to have a draft ordinance to DEP by April 17th, and then you have to adopt the ordinance by July 17th. So
Will you do that ordinance?
We're working on it right now. and
Oh,
I'll get
great.
it to Joyce.
Is that for every town?
Yes, every town in Camden County has to do this.
Is that the same thing that I thought Dan was working on, or are you working with Dan?
I gotta talk to Dan about it.
Yeah, talk to Dan, because I already sent it over to him.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's the Riverine model we gotta follow, so,
Can email you on that.
okay, they sent us a draft to follow,
Yeah.
so, yeah. I attended a online seminar for that, DEP held. I did it for another municipality we represented, I just was checking in to see where Runnymede status was, so, I'll coordinate with Dan on that. CDBG block grant, 2023 applications are due this Friday, so tonight you pass the resolution. I'm going to get the mayor to sign the application right here, and we'll get that application submitted this Friday, and hopefully we'll be able to continue on with second, fourth, and whatnot next year. Open Space 2023, Camden County has not announced applications are open yet, but it's something you gotta think about.
Can we add VFW? Because we felt it wasn't enough, right?
That's,
Can we do 2 years and try to get the VFW?
resubmit.
Does everybody like that idea? Remember, there wasn't enough money to do the VFW, and we could do back-to-back. I think that was something Magnolia did. Good idea.
Can we put some of the 100 trees that we're gonna be getting at that park? Because that park has no trees.
Oh, that's the other application.
Oh, the 100 trees? Oh,
The state hasn't come out with that yet, right?
They have not come out with that yet.
oh, it would be nice if we could get some of them there.
But we need the equipment first and all that stuff, and then we'll plant some trees.
Once,
That would be nice.
then we can, I can work with Joyce getting the resolution, so that's already taken care of for that open space, but they haven't announced them yet. I'm on page 5 now, CDBG 2023, we submitted all the closeout documents to CDBG and local aid, so hopefully you get your final reimbursements, and that project's gonna be disappearing from my status report to clear that up next month. 9th Avenue redevelopment, Steve Fox been working with La Quinta and Gary Passananti to amend the current redevelopment plan.
So we're very close with this, guys.
Very good.
So if everyone remembers seeing the financials are pretty much set. The idea that turning this into apartments is what Steve is working with, because it's not a permitted use, but we would agree that they could do this as long as we have this whole pilot program and stuff like that. So we're very close. I would think in the next month or so, those gentlemen might be coming in here to
And
talk
it'll
to
be a
us.
30-year pilot?
I can't remember.
Yes.
It was 30 years, yeah. It was it was on that whatever it was a 30-year pilot. I think it's coming together really, really well. I mean, there's still we still have to have a meeting here. We still have to have they have to go in front of the planning board, and then there's also a contract they have to sign through our council that's doing that. Mally's office does the redevelopment contract. And then they can pull their permits and start doing work there. So I think they're ready to go. From what I understood,
Have we seen any of their plans for the apartments?
there was just some preliminary stuff that everybody remembers that just showed the building being called Revive
Yeah,
and things like that.
but
And,
no, but you haven't
but when
seen
they come in
any-
front of the board, come in front of us, they'll have to show us, and then they'll have to show the public what they're doing.
Do we know if it's high-end or just?
Their idea is, the word that Gary uses, luxury market rate apartments. So they're trying
So
to,
you're looking at 1,200 to 1,500 a month?
I've heard higher than that.
Nothing, you can't get nothing for that.
Yeah, you can't
Twelve
get
to
it.
1,500 is
You
not
can't
high
get
end.
you can't get efficiency.
Eleanor, it's much more expensive out there. Don't move. So,
It's like 2,000.
sorry, I didn't mean
That's
that.
okay, no, I appreciate it.
But I want you to know that that's coming, and when Steve is done with this, it comes to us next.
Right, then you'll have to adopt it, 2 readings to adopt it.
Council has to
and then
adopt
you
it as an
refer-
ordinance.
Then you refer to the planning board for them.
Yeah, so planning board holds the public hearing.
Okay.
A lot of stuff going on.
Sewer extension project on Davis Road, we resubmitted plans to address their concerns with tree replenishment, that's been taken care
Trees.
of. But we received another set of comments on February 14th, and we are currently addressing that, and I expect them to be, we're gonna respond by the end of this week or end of next week, so we're getting close to that. Hopefully this is their last round of comments, but it seems every time we submit something, somebody else reviews it.
The only other good news is we did get the land on Evergreen. We finally went to settlement, and I think we got the deed in our name, correct?
And so now we can put the pump house.
The pump's there, the turnaround, you know what I
Nice.
mean?
Nice.
It'll be cleaned up a little bit.
Nice.
Sanitary and storm sewer as-built, working with Harry, there's some things we still have to pick up. One thing we did do recently is DDP required us to send a map of the outfalls, which is where your storm system discharges either at a basin or wherever, so we had to locate all those. We found some missing ones that we weren't aware of, so I've been working with Harry on that. So we resubmitted that map to DEP, and now we're continuing to work to clean up some leaks on the actual. Sort of a living document, there's things we find that we didn't know were there, so we have to go find them and field survey them all that. Rules and regulations, Harry we submitted a draft a while back, Harry sent comments to Steve, and they sat around, but now we're getting those cleaned up. So we will revise our rules and regulations and resubmit that to DPW to review. Once they do that, it'll come to council, and you could adopt that by ordinance, and that will get some rules and regulations for sewer projects in town. Public Works Garage, the USD, a long time ago, Tononi, who's your licensed site remediation professional, had a 3-year plan to move forward with that. We haven't really taken any action on that, we were waiting on budget. So we want to get a new 3-year plan from them with updated costs, present that to you, and see if that's going to be fitting in your budget, and if we can move forward with it. So that's where, so I thank Harry for meeting with you today, so we can get some of these things moving forward, and
Thank you very much. Shelley, anything else? Nothing? Chief, anything?
That's one thing. I sent the email. We will be presenting Officer Wooten with his 20-year plaque at the council.
Okay.
Great.
Nice.
That'll be it for another
Nice.
day.
Oh, one more thing. Our student, 8th grader last year, who won a Parks and Rec's essay, won this District 28 and Regional 7
Wrestling?
in wrestling. Sandy Spalding. He's out to the state now as a freshman.
Wow.
So he's a Remedy resident doing big things.
That's
Big regions, that's...
And what's his name?
Sandy Spalding, Little Sandy.
Oh,
He
boy,
won
yeah,
District
he was a
28
big
and
deal.
120 and won Regional 7.
He won Regional 7?
He won
Wow.
as a freshman.
That's amazing.
Now he's on to the States and.
What's his weight class?
120 pounds. As a freshman, wrestling for Camden Catholic.
Camden Catholic. Mrs. Kelly, I'll be taking a day off Thursday like your wife to go see him wrestle.
As you should.
Yeah.
As you should.
That's awesome.
Captain Murray will be going with me.
No saying. Awesome.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, he had a good year. He's a good kid. Great A's, good athlete.
Camden Catholic?
Yeah.
Yay, my alma mater! Oh, how proud they must be over at the Irish. Good for them.
Okay, we'll do payment of bills next unless there's anything else. Motion to pay the monthly bills.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Ms. Passio. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
And Mr. Shapiro.
Yes.
That's 5 ayes, 5 ayes.
All right, the bill shall be paid. This portion of the meeting is open to the public. Anyone wishing to speak, please come to the microphone, state your name and address.
Hi.
Hi, Ken.
Kathy Gregory Walker, 145 East 3rd Avenue, Runnymede, New Jersey.
Dan Murray, 281 Evergreen Road, Runnymede, New Jersey.
Say to your right.
All right. And we're here to talk about the Love and Meet event that the Chamber of Commerce is sponsoring, along with a sponsorship from the Borough of Runnymede. So Dan, I don't know where we'll start, so we'll start with Dan worked with many people to work out this map, and I think you should all have it.
Yep.
So I guess a good place,
Yeah, I don't have a copy.
okay.
Thanks.
So I guess a good place to start is any questions or thoughts about it, or any other questions?
I'll be talking to our ladies.
Awesome.
Yeah,
So the
we're getting
time,
a table.
That's
the
great.
time is
5 to 9.
5 to 9,
It's a Friday night, 5 to 9.
and you'll be utilizing inside of the Harry Williams.
Mostly just for the facilities, for the rest.
No tables inside?
We're hoping not to have any tables outside, we're gonna have a tent outside. I met with, I met with Scott Hill and Captain Burns last week. We went over this site plan. They seem to like this because it's very similar to our National Night Out. It feels as though it's a good, safe way to conduct it. We partnered up with Heights in Progress, which they do Sip It On Station, which is very successful. Things in Magnolia along the tracks that's been very successful, and also Mount Ephraim. So we partnered up with them, and we're letting them do their thing, and we're doing our end of the work.
Do you need the tables and chairs from inside the building, or they come with the tent company?
We may need them.
Well, let us know.
Yeah. There are some things that we're still working through, but basically,
You
the
can put that
partners,
on the activity sheet.
Yeah, I think that's on Captain Burns' desk right now. He's been working on that for us.
So do I just resubmit one if we're making changes to it?
I would just let it go
Just
for
let
now,
it go.
yeah. And if we have to make changes, we can,
We just let him know.
Okay, so I see on there that you have food trucks.
yes.
Okay, how many food trucks are you
We're
having?
gonna have 5 food trucks. They're all,
Are they,
like the larger, reputable, more reputable food truck companies that Heights has already partnered with in the past. They bring a lot to the table because they've done this. So they're already through the county,
Board of Health.
Board of Health, that's finished. Scott Hill told me exactly what they need to do as far as getting the permits, which will be done and it'll be inspected the day of the event.
So Scott takes care of all that.
the only thing, I mean, it seems like this is the future, food trucks.
It is for some reason.
Okay, and I feel, we don't have an ordinance, so I feel that we should do an
Yeah, we can
ordinance.
adopt something.
Camden has just started, they called it a pilot program for food trucks. I mean, we need to have some type of rules and regulations. I did see on Facebook that there were places from out of town that wanted to come and be a part of this.
Really?
Yes, but my thing is, I don't understand how that helps our businesses.
Well,
So if they're from out, you know,
what we're doing is...
what are the businesses, how do the businesses feel about that?
So we have plans, and there are a few businesses that aren't really thrilled with the whole idea, I'll be honest with you. But they're kind of coming around to it. A couple of the bars feels though that they're going to take a hit on a Friday night. But within our dealings with HIT, they were telling us about 70% of the people that will be there, based on their experience, is going to come from outside of town. So we don't feel as though we're really going to be hurting anybody. And then, like when they do stuff in Heights, afterwards, what's the one, the rail is jammed because people go to the Citadel station, have a couple drinks, and then they go back over there and have a few more drinks. So we're hoping that happens with us, and we're trying to partner with them for some sponsorships. You know, we're going to have cups for sponsorships, and if they put their name on the cup, maybe they can do something to bring people back to the town. And also with, go ahead, Beth.
No. So I was just gonna say, and so one of the things I also did for two liquor licenses, so whichever 2 bars want to take advantage of it, Heights and Progress worked out a deal where if they want their specialty drinks served, they would purchase, say if the sponsorship's $1,000, Heights and Progress would purchase $500 of the alcohol from that bar, make their specialty drink to promote it, and so that sponsorship for them would be less. So they've been trying to work with us in that way because they know that's important for us. But part of this is also awareness of Runnymede and the fact that we do have awesome businesses. So we are working on getting more sponsorships. And as part of the sponsorship, they also get put on Heights and Progress website. They get partnered for the year. They get so there are reasons for them as far as advancing themselves in other areas if they take advantage of this.
So the only question I have is parking. You're closing Elm Avenue, but once again, you guys are coming up with a plan, but you know, you're using the parking lot. What's the thought? I mean, you know, you got some parking along Constitution, we can help out, allow, you know, parking. Parking along Broadway, parking back.
Parking back towards Washington buildings back there, parking back where Ruoff is.
Yep. Did you
Also,
talk to Ruoff, or?
we're going to.
Yeah.
And we're also hoping to park at the vacant lot that's going to be the
Popeyes.
Yeah, so
You have that guy's information?
So, yeah, and basically, like, the demographics of this, a lot of it is with the IPA beers and the food trucks, you got like 30 to 50-year-old people going there. So walking a block and a half is not going to be that big of a deal. It's not really...
You said 70% are out of town, though.
70% out of town. We're going to have some event parking signs made up that we're going to utilize in the future for National Night Out.
You making any deal with CVS for them to park across the street? You know,
Yeah,
support it?
that would be a good idea,
Yeah, we
that's
can.
possible.
I mean, obviously down 9th Avenue, you could do, you know.
There's a lot of parking there.
I mean, I was only gonna say, if we could promote the, you know, the Uber, you know, the ride share type of things.
Yeah, and we're
I don't know how
also,
to do
you know,
that.
and we're targeting maybe, we're
On
hoping
National
for,
Night Out, they don't have any trouble parking.
they find it.
Yeah, they find the parking. Yeah, they
See how
do.
loud people walk to
You're
it.
fine.
Yeah, and we're having, we are reaching out to the RY and asking them to, if they're doing anything that night,
They're not.
They're not, okay,
Oh,
so
so
that's what they're doing.
We already-
Backside of the field.
We already cleared,
Yeah.
we cleared it for the city, I didn't say nothing about the minors.
Okay.
I'll let Jeremy know not to have it.
Yeah, the biggest thing's a senior field, they have to
But
practice.
back where Bowers, park back there, is
Yes.
everything, and that's a
Yeah.
stop spots.
I'll let them know.
Okay.
Are there any projected estimates of how many people are going to show?
Yeah, we're thinking,
they're pretty aggressive, right? So
1,000 to 1,500.
that's what they're thinking, just based on the previous events.
But not everybody at one time.
So it's a 4-hour window, so you might have 600 people there walking around at one time.
I
It would be awesome. It
We
would be
go to the
awesome.
Belmar one.
Running with rocks.
Yeah.
Which is about the size of National Night Out.
Yes, yeah. And it's kind of like a revolve, you know, you come, you grab something to eat, you grab a beer, and you leave.
Well, I think that could happen a lot. People go into certain food trucks. Absolutely. You have to go, whatever you
We will have 2 bands. Officer Semetsky is going to be the DJ.
Nice.
Mass Magic, Massanova Sons doing the magic show. Dance Dynamics has the girls dancing and even some of the boys dancing. So working and incorporating the community in that way.
No remote control cars.
No
No.
RC, no RC
The only
vendors.
thing, the only thing, like I said, I think that we should, get an ordinance for food trucks.
I think we looked at it once before. We did. We did because we thought, we never had any real, this will be the first sort of thing.
Yeah.
And you.
I don't get me wrong, I think ordinance can say if you have a pool
She
in the
did.
county, what kind of
That's the
control?
whole meeting from, I think.
But you can't just park on Rackers Pike and open that here. You can't just pull into the borough
They've been
parking
doing
lot
it for
and
a
open
while.
up.
And they're also trying to, the Heights in Progress, they're also trying to target certain vendors for this event as well. So they're trying to create a certain,
Draws.
type of a lot. Sorry?
Dominic's Tavern, probably.
I think he has Domino's, I know, he mentioned he had a taco, not.
And I can
not
send
sure
it
if
over
taco or
and
something.
add to it.
There's like some big ones that are out there, yeah, and he deals with them all the time, and also with the alcohol distributors. So he does all the ID, cards, sells all the drinks, collects all the money, scans everybody's ID to make sure, everybody's legal, so he
Does the
handles all
marketing.
that end of it.
The sign.
Yeah, so we're excited about it, and we think that, we're letting him do his thing, and we're doing ours.
Did we put this on the electronic sign in the borough parking lot?
Not yet, that's a good point.
Can we promote this?
I'm sorry, what?
Can we promote this event on the sign, the borough sign? if we get-
Of
Absolutely.
course.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right,
so you gotta get
awesome. I'll
something
send it
over.
to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once we have our sponsor set, we're thinking if we maybe could do something across Pine Bridge as well, like we do sometimes for other things.
Like a big
We-
sign?
Yeah, we just,
Yeah.
we set our sponsorship down.
Nobody
Yeah.
sent me anything.
Oh, that's a good question. So what do we need for that? What do we need for?
I don't know, maybe, I have so many things, I was,
Girls softball has to be on the, because they have registration this weekend.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I think it's
We have
12 to
time. We
Yeah.
have,
Yeah, but I mean, we can advertise. No, well, we need to build it up, right? I mean,
Yeah,
there's no-
yeah. So we started, so we were thinking about a sign over Clemens Bridge with like all the sponsors and the name.
We had a banner there years ago. We used to put a banner up.
So what do we need to do to get that? Do we need to get?
It was
or-
public
You
works,
have
it's a
to
little
get
bit of
for a
work.
banner.
buy it.
Well, we could, yeah, we need to get a
Cable
banner.
goes
Somebody down
across
in
the
the
road.
Barrington bought the banner there.
We'll have you just start.
You did,
Brett,
yeah,
who's
for
on
that?
the yard sale.
Yes,
We did it for the yard
Who
sale.
sold the
Bought a
banner?
banner?
Barrington, no, Barrington.
Bantal's banners,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
just, she made it for us.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, it's a heavier weight.
but you have to do that soon because they take a long time to
Yeah,
get done.
and you want it up at least a couple of weeks before.
Yeah, so we need to get our sponsors, because as part of the sponsors is the names will be on the sponsor, like depending on the level, the name will be on the corner, you have a major sponsor, and the borough will be on there.
Keep it simple.
Yes, it's a plug-and-play system, we're following there, Dan keeps saying, stop making it complicated, Kathy. I'm like, you can do this again, it's like,
Keep it simple.
that's not in it, that's not what you're doing, so, oh yes, we're trying to keep it simple. I got Dan making sure I keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good night.
Yeah,
All right,
it'll be
guys.
fun.
Yes,
All right.
should be.
Thank you.
Thank you, whatever you need from us. So if you're with Scott, that's awesome. With Chuck, that's great.
Yeah.
And then work with Harry with the building.
Yep. That would be good.
All
Awesome,
right,
thanks.
awesome, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Anyone else?
Now that I know that.
Seeing no one else, is there a motion to close the public portion?
I make a motion to close the public portion.
Motion by Ms. Passio, second by Mr. Ranieri. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned at 7:16.
All right.
We need to adjourn.
Oh, I'm sorry, I closed. I got adjourned. Motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Ms. Passio, is there someone to second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Ranieri. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned at
Thank you very
7:17.
much.